Halloween night had returned to the quiet town of Haddonfield. The streets were glowing with orange porch lights and flickering jack-o'-lanterns. Children in costumes ran from door to door laughing, their bags filling with candy as the cool autumn wind pushed dry leaves along the sidewalks. To most people, it was a night of fun, a night of costumes, a night of harmless scares. But the people of Haddonfield knew better, because in this town, Halloween had a history, a dark one, and sometimes the evil that came with it never truly left. Far down the highway that led into town, a lone police cruiser rolled slowly through the night. Its headlights cut through drifting fog as the vehicle passed the city limits sign. The engine stopped. The driver's door creaked open. A tall figure stepped out wearing a police uniform. The badge glinted under the streetlight, but the man wearing it was no protector. This was Matt Cordell, the Maniac Cop. Years ago, Matt Cordell had been one of New York City's most feared police officers. Criminals knew his name because he never gave up a chase and never allowed the guilty to escape justice. But his obsession with law and order made powerful enemies. Corrupt officials and dangerous criminals conspired against him. They framed him for crimes he had never committed. The city he served betrayed him. Cordell was sentenced to prison, surrounded by the very criminals he had once put behind bars. Inside those walls, revenge came quickly. The inmates attacked him brutally, leaving him broken and bleeding in his cell. Everyone believed Matt Cordell had died that night, but something brought him back. Now he walks the streets again in his police uniform, carrying his badge like a symbol of twisted justice. To anyone who sees him, he looks like a police officer, but behind the badge hides something far darker, a relentless force that punishes the living without mercy. Tonight, that force had arrived in Haddonfield. Across town, the streets were beginning to grow quiet. The trick-or-treaters had gone home. The laughter had faded. Only the wind and the distant creaking of Halloween decorations remained. At the edge of the neighborhood stood an old house. Its windows were broken. Its paint was peeling. The trees around it had long since died. The house had been abandoned for years. But tonight, someone had returned. Inside the dark hallway, a tall figure stepped forward into the pale moonlight, shining through a cracked window. A white mask appeared from the shadows. In his hand, he carried a large kitchen knife. This was Michael Myers. Many years ago, on Halloween night in 1963, the quiet town of Haddonfield was shaken by a crime no one could understand. A 6-year-old boy named Michael Myers murdered his older sister inside this very house. When the police arrived, they found the child standing outside, still wearing his Halloween costume and holding the knife. He did not cry. He did not speak. He simply stared. For years, doctors studied him inside a mental institution, hoping to understand what had driven the boy to such violence. But one psychiatrist eventually realized something terrifying. Michael Myers was not just mentally ill. Behind his eyes lived something empty, something ancient, something evil. He escaped the institution years later and returned to Haddonfield. And every time Halloween arrives, Michael returns with it. Silent, relentless, unstoppable. The people of Haddonfield stopped calling him by his name long ago. Now they call him only one thing: the Shape. Tonight, the quiet streets of Haddonfield held two monsters. Neither of them knew the other had arrived, but fate had already begun pulling them toward the same path. Matt Cordell walked slowly down a deserted street, his heavy boots echoing against the pavement. His cold eyes scanned the houses, searching, judging, waiting. Then he saw something ahead, a tall figure standing beneath a flickering streetlight. White mask, dark coveralls, a knife reflecting the pale light. Michael Myers slowly turned his head. The two figures stood motionless in the drifting fog. For a moment, the entire street seemed to fall silent. No wind, no sound, just two killers staring at each other across the darkness. Then Michael moved.